Hey, welcome to another video on homeowner repair, and in this video we're going to review a floodlight that a seller on Amazon had sent in to us. So follow me, we'll take this thing out of the box, I'll tell you what it's all about, and we'll install the product and show you how it works. Here's the old floodlight that we have on the house that I'm going to be replacing with this new floodlight. It's a halogen light, so it tends to use a lot of electricity. We've had it for a few years, and it stopped working about 6 months ago, so we're going to replace it with this new light and see how it works. Okay, so here's the box that the floodlight came in. This one happens to be a 50 watt LED floodlight, and I guess the manufacturer is LTE lighting. And what I'll do is in the description of the video, I'll put a link into the seller on Amazon so you can see what seller sent us the light, and you can take a look at it. It wasn't really expensive. It was really reasonable considering all the halogen lights that are on the market and how expensive those are. So let's take a look at this. So we took it out of the box. One of the things that jumped out at me, or two of the things right away, is that it has a plug on it. So obviously these are made to ship around the world to different countries and stuff like that. It does have a ground. The only problem that I'm going to run into is the setup that I currently have is like a junction box, so I'm going to need to run to the hardware store, get a plate to plate that off, and on the plug I'm going to have to cut the plug end off and hardwire it up and into the junction box and make it watertight. The mounting is a little bit different too. It has a bracket style mount, so we're going to need to get 2 screws at the hardware store to screw this bracket into the side of the house, and then we're going to need to reconnect the light and wire it in. But those two things are pretty easy to work around. The light itself seems to be made really well. Here's the wiring coming out of the bottom of it. It's sealed good. There's a little gasket in there, and the wiring seems to be pretty thick. This is a thin gasket that I can see between the back of the housing and the wiring in the back, so it'll be watertight. And the model that I received also has a sensor on it, a motion sensor, so that it'll kick on if something or somebody comes into the yard. And there's like 3 different settings on the bottom of it. There's a sensor setting, timer, and it looks like a daytime or nighttime setting. So there's one huge light right in the middle, which is different than your typical halogen style floodlight. So when I took this out of the box, the first thing I did was I plugged it into our garage, and I put it on an extension cord at night to light up the backyard. And I was really impressed. It lit up the backyard really well. It actually lit up the backyard better than the halogen light that's currently on my house. So he said, you know what, let's figure this out, wire it in, and we'll take it for a rip. Oh, one last thing, it did come with a little bit of some instructions about the light. I didn't see any way on how to hardwire it in there, but it's typical wiring from what I saw on the internet. So basically, if you need to hardwire it, you can cut the cord, and there should be a couple wires in there, and you can wire it into your existing junction box. Or you can go another route and remove the junction box that you have if you have the same style that I do, and probably go to like Home Depot or Lowe's or something and get together with those guys and see if you can use what they recommend for an outside outlet, probably like a GFI, something like that, built into it, so that if water gets into it, it'll kick off and nothing bad would happen. So right now I'm going to grab a ladder and get to work. Oh, one last thing we forgot to add, the light output is about 3700 lumens. Right, now both bolts are in, and let's put the light on. Okay, so now I have my floodlight all wired in and plugged in, and the box is all weather tight, and it was pretty easy to wire in. It's just like any other floodlight. So what I'll do is I'll take a video at night, and you can see how well it illuminates the backyard. Okay, so I'm out here, and it's dark out. So this is a pretty good sized backyard, and let's see if I can get the camera to focus in. This light's awesome. It lights up the entire backyard all the way to
this fence we have at the end of the yard. It's probably a good 100 feet away, and it's definitely, it lights up farther than my old light. It definitely lights up wider than my old light. It lights the whole entire backyard up, and that fence is probably about 100 feet away from where I'm standing. And if it wasn't there, I'm sure that the light would go even further than that. But that's like another person's yard. So all in all, this light is a really good light. It does well, and really, it's bright. It's way brighter than my halogen light was, and I'm pretty happy with it. So what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description so that you can check it out. And it's really inexpensive. It was pretty easy to install. And if you have any questions about it, leave a comment on the channel, and don't forget to subscribe because we have a lot of great stuff on the channel. Thanks for watching.